This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism.
This is the result of feminism. This is what you get when we let you do what you want. Coach Greg, and we've got Andrew Tate with Bonnie Blue before GTA 6. How do you think this is going to go down? And in case you've been living under a rock, this is the woman who's been with over 1,000 men. That is a lot, but get this. It was in 24 hours. We've lost hope for humanity, both for the men and for the women, because unless you were number one in that lineup, then I don't know what you're doing. Imagine being in line with 1,000 guys. Hey, I'm 11 hours in. I can't wait to have 6 seconds with that woman, because to do that in under 12 hours, which it was, and it's documented, you have to do about 2 per minute. What do you think they're going to say? Andrew, sarcastically throughout the video, is going to say, oh, you're amazing, you're great, and so on. And they eat it up. They don't actually know that he's bullshitting them. And so you can watch this on Rob Moore's video, 2.5 hours. It's got 2 million views already. Of course it does.
I don't understand why men sit here and say you shouldn't do it. It's your body, your choice, right? This is the world we now live in. This is the end result of feminism. You are the perfect end result of feminism.
This is the result of feminism. This is what you get when we let you do what you want. Oh, for years, the patriarchies kept women down. Women wanted to be treated as equals, and so now you are. That's what you get. You get to be with 1,000 men.
So she's making her own choice. That's a fantastic thing. I actually have a lot of respect for you because you own it and you're honest about it.
What if it was your daughter?
Well, that won't happen.
What would you think if your daughter did this? You kidding me? There's no way. Not while I'm alive.
I don't see you any different than most women. And I'm not saying that in a degrading way.
Most women don't sleep with 1,057 men in a day.
1,000
Kirk!
matter.
And so he's saying, look, how are you different from most women? And so a lot of the women, they get triggered. Well, I wasn't with 1,000 guys in a day. No, but were you with 3? Were you with 2? And so he's saying she's the extreme end of what you're doing. There's no actual difference. And so I like it as this analogy. You're using steroids. You're just like those professional bodybuilders. No, they use test, trend, D-ball, and so on. I'm only on test. You're both using steroids. Perhaps they're using more steroids than you, but it's the same thing. Oh, you're like a bank robber. I didn't rob a bank. I only shoplifted. You both stole. It's the same thing. And so when you can do one thing, it's similar to doing another.
But everyone has a past.
But see, this is the kind of shit white people say. I don't know what's wrong with you people. Everyone has a past. That's not acceptable.
And so we get it. Women have certain pasts, but should you just look beyond that? Oh, I don't care that you had 100 partners when you were in your early 20s. You're reformed. You're changed. Well, what would you say if your ex has been to prison for doing certain unlawful things to several women in their past? If you have a history of not using women properly, I don't want to say the word to get demonetized, would you not take that into consideration on their future? When you go for a loan, they look at your loan history. Do you owe money on credit cards and so on? And so if you have a poor history, it's a predictor of your future. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. And so if her past is of such matter, then it's probably a bad indication. We call this a red flag.
The reason I'm proud of Bonnie, and I am genuinely proud of you, I like Bonnie. I like what she's doing.
My opinion is he's prouder for this. Like, look, we've always needed women of the night, the ones that sell certain things that they do. Don't want to say what that is. Essentially, that's never going to go. Somebody has to do it. And so I'm proud of you because in one day you took care of 1,000 men's needs. And so perhaps that leaves the other 1,000 to not have to do that. And so if we have a few, the chosen few, and they do this like crazy, they get it out of the way, perhaps it allows more of the women to not have to do this. And so perhaps if we have a few Bonnie Blues, perhaps 1 out of 100, it can leave the other 99 to be normal.
What would you do if it was your daughter, though?
But why are you asking impossible questions?
Why are you asking an impossible question? It's possible. That's the problem. But they're saying, look, just because you have a wife and you have a girlfriend, you have a significant other, and just because you don't know this has happened in the past or you don't think it has happened, doesn't mean that it isn't. And I'm not saying that everyone's girls are doing this. But some are. let's call it 10%. 10% of those girls going on those girls' trips, it's a trip to meet the boys, the guys. And so with Bonnie Blue, you know what you're getting. She's not bullshitting you. She's with those 1,000 guys. But your partner or the one you're clicking on Tinder and so on, you don't know. She may have 100 partners and maybe 1,000, but she's probably not going to tell you.
Was mine a stupid decision?
I wouldn't say it's any more stupid than most decisions women make, to be honest with you. I think that most women, to some degree, are sex workers anyway.
And so what he's saying, I'm predicting he's going to say this, is when you go on a date and they spend all that money on dinner and it's expected something happens, and you're essentially trading this for that. Relationships oftentimes are transactional. What can I do for you? Can you bring me on this vacation? Can you fly me down? Can I go on that yacht with you? Oh, I'll do this if you do that. And so you're thinking, do they want me for my money? Do they want me for me? Well, they want you for everything. What can you do? She loves you for you, but you is everything that you do. And if you stop doing those things, well, she's not going to like you. If she likes you because you're so nice, you say these certain things, when you stop doing that, is she really going to love you? And if she loves you for what you can provide for her, and if you stop providing her those things, will she in fact love you? Probably not.
I like what Bonnie's doing. She's getting the bag. She's getting rich. Most girls out here don't want to have kids. They just want to get Birkin bags and Instagram likes. Good. I'm a feminist, a pro-feminism.
And so this is true. Oftentimes you see the women traveling around the world. They're on yachts and first-class air flights, fancy hotels, fancy dinners. And you're reading in their bio, IG model. Now, they may not have a link, like they are on OF and so on. But what are they doing to afford all those things? Like, have you ever thought of that? They have no actual job and they're doing all the things. Somebody has given them that ability, and oftentimes it's a very rich man and or plural rich men. They do the things to get the things. He's saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Do whatever you want. This is the result of what you were hoping for. And so, yay, men and women are now equals. Are you proud of that? Is that what you want? Does that actually make you better? Is equal better?
If you're in Miami and you got girls on your boat and you think they're not money all of the time. Now, they may not say per hour, but they'll be they barely like to get the rent paid.
He's not wrong. I mean, you're going to meet that fancy girl in Dubai. You're flying down to Miami to meet that girl. Oh, it's her first time. She has never done this with anyone. You're special. Why would you think this? You are special. Okay, sure.
How hypocritical would it be for me to sit here and say, Bonnie, who's honest and makes money from it, is a worse person than the girl who walks around like she's goody two-shoes and then sucks in a Magaluf toilet?
He's not wrong. Bonnie is admitting this. She's open about it. She admits it. And people hate on her. But the people in Dubai and Miami who are doing the same thing and not talking about it, just doing it more discreetly, there's nothing wrong with them. They're great. That is like the fake natty that's using steroids, not telling anyone about it. And they're fine, they're great. But the person who admits they're taking steroids, well, you're a bad person. You're doing the same exact thing, only one person is honest about it.
His imperative is to impregnate women. He's not overly interested in the kids. It doesn't mean he doesn't love them. It means he doesn't want to sit there and play with them all day. When you see a man who wants to play with a baby all day, that man is probably gay.
He has a point, but he goes too far. I believe he says this on purpose to get people talking. He's saying the men's role is to try to get as many women as pregnant as possible, because men, they can spread their seeds quickly. Women, they have to stay there with that child for 9 months minimum. He's saying if a man wants to sit there and play with his kids all day, then he's probably gay. No, it doesn't make you gay to want to be a father, to be there with your child, to raise them, to teach them the things. That is going too far. But to say that it's equal, if a man does this and a woman does this, it's equal. And so if a man is with 1,000 girls and a woman is with 1,000 men, well, that's the same thing. It is not. It's not at all.
So do you think you're a good role model for women?
I'm a clear example of what women have fought for years. Of
what?
Taking control of your body.
Correct.
Being independent. I earn my own money. I don't rely on a guy.
Girl power.
Is she a good role model for women? I think she's a great role model if you want to go against what you should be doing in society. Kind of like, is a drug dealer a good role model? Well, the king drug dealer is a good role model for other drug dealers. But not for the average woman. She's doing the opposite of what we believe you should be doing.
If women want to run around and do whatever they want to do, it's up to them. My point is, all women on some scale, are doing what Bonnie Blue is doing. However, Bonnie Blue's just the best at it.
And when he says most women are doing what he's doing, he doesn't mean sleeping with 1,000 men. She means taking advantage of men, using men for their money, trying to take advantage of the world, and so on.
The morality is the same, whether you're stealing from the Wall Street or you're stealing from Starbucks. The morality of it is the same.
I mean, this is exactly what I was saying earlier in the video. The morality is the same. You're both breaking the law. You're both doing the stealing. You're both doing the thing. It's just one is at a greater scale, probably because you're more capable. The person that says, I would never cheat on my wife. I am faithful. I'm an angel. I would never do that. Would you, though? How do you know if it's never been presented to you? You're on a deserted island with a beautiful woman. No one would ever find out. Would it be possible that maybe you would stray? Maybe. I don't know. Some people it would. But you're thinking, I wouldn't do that. But you've never been given that opportunity. And so she has that opportunity. She can be with 1,000 men in a day for money. And you're thinking, I would never do that. But would you be with one? Would you be with one? Oh, I would never do that. I would never sleep with a man for money. Really. He's a 10 out of 10 gorgeous man. He's 6'3", maybe 6'5", green eyes finance. And you're at the bar and you're drinking, you're having a good time, and you go home with him. And you're digging it, you're vibing, but you're thinking, I probably shouldn't be with him. I just met him 14 hours ago. And then he's like, you know what? I'm a billionaire. I have these yachts and so on. And he's like, there's $1 million in cash right there. I just want you to be happy. I want to have a good time tonight, and I want you to be happy for the rest of your life. I want you to have that money. Are you certain that you won't go the extra mile, so to speak, with this man on this evening? With $1 million, it's all yours. No strings attached. Are you all saying you wouldn't do it? None of you. No one out there. You're attracted to him. He's hot as fuck. He's 6'5". He's perfect. He even perhaps has a six-pack or a dad bod, whatever you want. He's white if you like white. He's black if you like black. He's brown if you want another color. Whatever. Would you? Or would you not? And those of you, I would never use steroids. No, I would not do that. I would never take a SARM. Nope. You're an actor. You're trying out for a blockbuster role, and they say, you know what? If you only could put on 15 pounds of muscle in the next 6 months, we would want you for that role. I mean, we only pay $5 million for the role. You're going to be a movie star if you got that physique. But like as is, I mean, bro, you just don't look like Superman. Maybe if you took steroids, you could look like Superman in 6 months. Would your morals allow you to do it? I'm not saying all of you would, but I know that some of you would. And so you're thinking, I would never do that, but would you? For people that use steroids, maybe your dream is to be a professional bodybuilder. The dream of being a professional bodybuilder, it's stronger than your dream of having $5 million. And so when you judge someone for taking steroids, whose dream is to have that body, to have that look, to have that lifestyle, how can you judge them? And so to the same extent, Tate is saying, look, Bonnie Blue, she's the queen of all the roars. Starts with a W. She chose to make the millions of dollars by doing what she wants to do. And so he's like, look, do that. Now, I wouldn't want my daughter to do that, but this is what you get. This is the result. And so those of you judging her for being with 1,000 plus, what if you're at 10 plus? How are you any different? You're just doing it at smaller scale.
If you're going to be a whore, and most women watching this, and most men, hello, your wife, yeah, her, they're all whores anyway. If you're going to be a whore, no disrespect, you may as well be Kirk at it.
I mean, to call most men's wives whores, it's like, people don't like that. And so to me, that's just clickbait. I don't think he actually believes this. I really don't. I think he's just talking, just yapping. And that's why people don't like him.
Why are you going out to the pub, getting drunk, and meeting a man who's funny, and getting toilet for free? Are you dumb?
They are, though. Women are stupid.
They're stupid.
You're doing the same thing, really. It's just one is getting something out of it more than you are. Perhaps you got all your drinks paid for at that night at the bar. You got a free taxi. The taxi was paid home later that evening. Perhaps even bought you a new dress. How is that different?
Men have a different biological instinct to women, and we're prepared to suffer for the greater good. Women are not very good at suffering. Men are good sufferers.
Look back at the wars. There's so much evidence of it.
Women are spiteful sufferers and men will suffer more. I believe that that is true. You can hate me if you want, but Explain a 70% divorce rate that is initiated by women. And so what that means to me is that men, they sit there and suffer through a marriage, but women, they are quick to go and get a divorce. And why do you think that is? Men primarily make more money than women, not in all cases, but on average. And so when a marriage breaks apart and you get a divorce, the woman wins more than the man. And so if a man and women break up, women are motivated to say, well, I'm not happy, I'm going to walk away. And if I walk away, I'm walking away with half of his money. That's a lot better than if a man says, if I walk away, I don't get anything. And so oddly enough, when you get a divorce, I don't think you should have to split the money. I don't think that's fair at all. Because if it was, well, during that marriage, the man typically providing a lot of money for the family. The woman is providing the SEX. She's providing that. And so after the divorce happens, if the man has to continue to pay for her, she should have to continue to lay for him. Does that make sense? And you're thinking, no, that's moronic. Why would that ever happen? Then why would a man have to pay for a woman after they break up?
If you said to me, Andrew, fix society, all the women can either vote or be like Bonnie. I'd be like, make them all like Bonnie, give the men the vote back. We'll fix the whole country.
Even your daughter.
Yeah, why would she need to vote? I'm voting.
And so women want equality in society, but they only want equality when it benefits them. I want equality. I want half of his paycheck. I want the same jobs as he has, but I want the standard to be lower for me. When I try out to be a firefighter, I'm a woman. I can't lift as much. And so I want it to be easy. When I try out for the military, I don't want to go to war. I mean, to actually fight hand-to-hand combat, I'm weaker. And so I don't want to fight. And so if they ever have to draft people to go to war, oh, it's the men that are going to go first. Yeah, I'm for that. Men go to war, women stay home and raise the family. How is that equal? And so if you want it to be equal, make it actually equal. Let's go a step further. What the heck is up with male and female sports? Like, there should just be, we're all equal, right? And so why are there women? Women boxing, they should box the men. Women's hockey, women's basketball, there should be one league, people league. And if you're the best, you play. And so what would happen? It would be basically no women playing at the top. How is it equal? We have special divisions and special rules so that people who aren't as capable are able to play. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But don't act like you're equal.
This is what we need. Do you want to be prime minister or not really?
No.
See? Done, bro. This is it. This is what we need in society. Honest about their sex work, because all women out here are sex working anyway.
And so the thing is, Andrew Tate is speaking with absolutes. He's saying that women are all roars, that starts with a W, that they're all ex-workers. Well, not all of them are. He's saying, yeah, but look at every single beautiful woman. They either have a sugar daddy or they have a boyfriend or a husband who's paying for everything, or they have some bullshit type of business. They have a hairdressing salon or whatever, and the guy is actually funding it. And so she's just basically pretending to work. It isn't true. There are actually beautiful women who have jobs. I know I'm dating Mepsigram. She's an eye surgeon. They actually make a lot of money. There are some women who aren't actually transactional in that sense, but many of them are. But there's nothing wrong with that per se. It's just people, they don't want to pretend that this is not happening.
If you're pretty enough, you don't do that. You find a boyfriend or a husband or a sugar daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's paying your bills.
And so if you're a woman and you don't have a job and you're going after a man who has a lot of money, who has a job and can provide you money, it's very similar to what Bonnie Blue's doing. It's just not to scale the way that she is. It's socially acceptable, but it's a very similar thought process. You have a lot of money. I'm going to date you specifically. How is that any different?
I'm not here giving any messages. I am a commentator. I'm not playing football. I'm commentating on the game.
I mean, it's true. He's not giving a message. He's speaking on facts. And this is what I know that people really dislike. When you comment on the way the world works, you get hated upon for pointing out the obvious. And so it's obvious, but people don't want to hear that. I think it's ignorance is bliss. If I don't hear it, if I don't know about it, then it isn't actually happening. He's commentating on the world. He's telling you how it works. I don't watch football. I don't play football. I'm commenting on the game. I'm watching who scored what touchdown, who threw the ball, who caught it. It's like those women with those bird hands. They're pointing at you with the beaker face. do this, do that. You should have dated me. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. Pointing at you to try to command you to do certain things. And if you comment on that, do you all see the woman with the bird hands poking fun at people, TikTok, Instagram, and so on? Oh, I don't like this man. He's a misogynist. Why? For pointing out what you women are doing? You know what I'm talking about with the bird hands. You've seen it.
Why are you obsessed with taking boys' virginities?
Well, just like how Andrew likes 18-year-olds.
Wait. Careful. Careful now.
Sorry, should I go
I'm
younger?
under investigation.
And so what you may not know is that Bonnie Blue goes to these virgin parties where she takes as many men's virginity and preferably on their 18th birthday, aka barely legal. Now, imagine if a man did the same thing. They would say this is grooming. I think that we can all come together and say this is not okay. It's one thing to be with 1,000 men who are clearly adults. They've been adults for a little while. They can make their own decisions. But when you're a teenager and your brain hasn't finished developing and it's their first time and you don't know any better, it's probably not okay.
I mean, if you had an 18-year-old son, would you send him to me on his 18th birthday?
No.
So serious. Okay, so your son will probably lose his virginity after going to a club. He's probably been drinking. The girl might have done drugs.
I mean, to say, would you send your son to me on his 18th birthday to lose his virginity? And then when you say, no, obviously not. Oh, well, he's going to lose his virginity while drunk and high after a night at the clubs. This is not okay. It's not equal. Probably going to say, look, wait till you're with someone, date them for a while, you fall in love with them, and then it happens. And so when deciding about doing this, I'm thinking this is the better plan. You take out the dolls, the blue lobster and the blue lobster crab, and you say they get together, they like each other, and eventually comes a baby blue lobster. That is how it works. They used to call it the birds and the bees. It's the blue lobster and blue lobster crab. Hopefully, you don't get crabs. And so, of course, I use that introduction to announce to you that you should, in fact, be using Blue Lobster Pre. It has salidroside. This is the best flavored pre-workout, the best tasting, the best induced effects. You get blue lobsters, you feel crazy, you can't wait to go to the gym, you feel great, you want to talk your face off. It's amazing. And of course, if you're a man trying to get a woman, it's very important to look good. And so I would suggest you get Turk Builder Max, train harder than last time. You can get GO2 Max. And if you have low testosterone, G-Test Platinum. Not to be outdone by GLP Max if you're struggling with your appetite, you can't control your cravings. GLP Max is a GLP in oral form. You're going to have less hunger than last time, and if you can't get harder than last time, you know what it's for. Harder than last time. Code Greg, 15% off.
But I don't think a straight man wants to see that's had 10 dicks in it, or 20 dicks in it, or 50 dicks in it.
What about 1,057?
Well, I don't know. Maybe these men are just bi, or I don't know. Maybe they're desperate. You can argue lots of things.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I mean, if there's literally been 1,000 people there right before you, that's a lot. Too much male DNA, and so it's kind of an ick. Now, I'm not sure if that makes you gay, but I'm certain that that is one of the reasons why Andrew doesn't want to be around that many other guys in that close of proximity.
Some of these guys, especially 6 hours in, they come to me. The floor's like an ice rink. There's that much cum on there. My face, I'm barely recognizable. Like, my hair is slicked back.
I didn't think it would be that bad. They're all covered all over their stomach, their face, and so on. Slippery, dried in, and they're kissing on her. Okay, perhaps they are actually gay.
Yeah, I think the men who turn up to these events are gay, by and large. I think they're at least bi. Because I think that if you're a straight man, you don't really want to be near other kind of men's genitals.
I also have a theory, and that is that if you are bisexual, that means that you are gay. I don't feel like there's a difference. I mean, men born perhaps to be able to have sex with women, you can argue that this slot fits in that slot and so on. And so that is biological. And if you also want to be with a man also, then you're gay. You may have relations with both men and women, but you're still gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. I'm just saying if you're bi, you're gay.
You know, women say this. Oh, yeah, but it was before I met you. I don't give a fuck. Before you knew my name. You got fuck. That's disgusting. And that offends me now. You cheated on me before I met you.
You cheated on me before I met you. So Andrew has very specific needs that these women must be virgins. Now, I don't think you need to be a virgin. I think that is going too far. Now, that is your own prerogative, and so you do you. But to say they cheated on you if they never even knew your name, they'd never even met you yet. I mean, I know there's quantum physics and there's different time warps and so on, but this is going too far.
I mean, the point of having sex with a woman is to get her pregnant, by and large. I'd argue that being horny in general is kind of gay.
Only if you're horny for other men. I mean, that to me makes sense. If you're horny and you want to have sex with a woman, you're probably not gay. Now, I could argue that if you are horny and you masturbate with yourself, then maybe you're gay because it's a man's hand. And so if you're doing it to yourself, it's kind of manly. It's a little bit gay. But if you're with a woman, by definition, it's not gay. And so let me know what you think. If you masturbate, does that mean you may be gay? Perhaps you're not. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget, if you're interested in coaching, you can apply by clicking the link in the description. Use code Greg for 15% off everything. If you're interested in the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet book, all this stuff, even the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, the 1 in a Million shirts and everything, please get to the website, code Greg, 15% off. And until next time, I am out.